Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to welcome you to tonight's world premiere performance of Jill Trent Science Sleuth. Before we begin, I would like to cover a few housekeeping items. Flash photography is not permitted as the flash bulbs fall on the floor and break, leaving glass all over. During tonight's performance, there will be a lot of gunfire. Please be advised that the cap guns will not really harm anyone. However, if you are startled, you may exit the theater where you came in or these two exit doors in front of you. Finally, I understand that many of you possess magic telecommunication machines you use to communicate with each other. Please turn them off as their use is disrespectful to the actors and annoying to those around you. Now sit back and prepare yourself as we step back in time to when the good were good, the bad were bad, and justice prevailed. Jill Trent Science Sleuth. It's a typical midsummer day in 1943. America is at war. In the large American city which she calls home, career girl Daisy Smith has just hailed a taxi cab. Where to, lady?
East 57th Maple, please. Gridiron Building. I've got a job interview in 25 minutes. I do hope you can get me there in time.
You know, nah, forget I brought it up.
What? What were you going to say?
You sure?
Yes.
I was gonna say that if you wanted to be sure to be there on time, maybe you should have left home a little earlier.
Yes, I suppose I should have.
It's simple arithmetic. Something that you females never seem to understand. Between the hair, the makeup, and then trying out 12 pairs of shoes before finally making up your mind, it doesn't take a genius to realize that you're always gonna be running late.
Which is ironic since I'm a certified scientific genius.
You see what I mean? And it's all entirely preventable. How come you girls never stop once to think about these things?
Oh dear. Another red light?
I'll tell you why. It's because girls don't have the analytical brains like men do.
We are different creatures, I guess.
Entirely different creatures. So what kind of job are you applying for, doll?
Oh, it's nothing really. There's an opening in Steno Pool at Bigly Badly and Ugly.
Oh, we're crying out loud!
Holy Toledo! What's going on?
We're in the middle of a gun battle, and here I was having such a nice, peaceful Tuesday.
Follow that vehicle, Cabby.
I beg your pardon. I'm trying to get to a job interview.
Well, I'm sorry, but your little job interview is going to have to wait. Step on it, Cabby. There's a war on, you know, and we all have a part to play. Daisy?
Jill? Jill Trent, goodness gracious, how are you?
Can't you go and back the driver?
I'm trying, lady. Believe me, I'm trying.
Hand me your radio handset, okay?
Here you go.
Central Dispatch, inform the Metropolitan Police that Jill Trent is in pursuit of two suspected criminals in a brown Studebaker sedan heading north on 4th Avenue between Madison and Carnegie. They're armed and dangerous.
Roger that, Jill Trent.
You're a cop? Well, not exactly, but the cops know me helps a lot. Here, have a look.
It's blank. Hey, wait a minute. Invisible ink? If only I had a few drops of lemon juice, I can make out what it says.
I see you haven't lost your science smarts.
Holy smokes. Jill Trent Science Sleuth Private Eye? I thought for sure you'd be department chair at university by now.
Well, actually, I was, until a couple of years ago. But like I said, there's a war on. Everybody's got a role to play.
And your role is?
Solving mysteries and fighting crime, using the most scientific techniques. And if I find a couple of bad guys like those two in my line of work, I make that my job as well, to track them down and bring them to justice. What about you? What are you up to these days?
Me? Well,
She's on her way to a job interview.
Let me guess. Head scientist in an important laboratory.
Well, not exactly.
It's for a secretarial position.
Well, stenographer is more like it. Although one day I hope to acquire the full array of skills necessary to be a secretary.
What is it? Traffic ahead, and now they're driving on the sidewalk. Can't you get up there and follow them?
What do you want from me, lady? They just shot out one of my front tires.
You still have 3 good tires, don't you? Quit your belly aching and drive like you mean it, okay?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
That's good. We're closing in on them.
Oh, hooray! Hooray!
Ah!
They got away from us, Daisy. Just as we were closing in on them.
Yes, I saw. How terrible.
It's fine. The cops will nab them. And if not, we'll get them eventually. You can let us off here, driver. How much do I owe you?
$1.20 on Alameda, and I'm gonna need a new tire. Thanks, lady. And good luck on your job interview, honey. Bigly Badly Ugly is just across the street.
Oh my, it is. And with 10 minutes to fair. Jill Trent, you certainly seem to be leading an exciting life and putting your science skills to good use, I see.
That's nothing. Just wait until you see the science lab in my private eye office.
Oh, golly, I'd love to. Jill,
What is it?
I was just thinking, if we had tagged that car with a radioactive isotope, say atomically charged chewing gum propelled from, let's say, a dart gun,
With a half-life of, say, a day or two,
then wherever it went, every official Geiger counter in the city would go off.
and we could have followed them to their ringleader and nabbed them all.
It was just a thought. Probably not a very good one.
Daisy, it was brilliant. When I graduated a year ahead of you, I thought for sure that you would be on your way to a Nobel Prize by now. Whatever happened to your scientific dream?
Professor Hoffmeister happened.
Oscar Mayer. I've always despised that creep.
He never stopped picking on me, tearing my work apart.
You have no aptitude for science.
No aptitude for science. He was jealous is all.
Leave the university now and quit wasting your time and mine,
Is what he said to me.
So you dropped out.
Well, I couldn't take the constant pressure. I never got that degree that I worked so hard for.
Let me tell you something, Daisy. When you're doing something new or revolutionary, that's when all of the bullies and critics and doubters emerge, trying to tear you down. You can't let them. You can't let them write the story of your life.
If you had been there with me, you might have convinced me to stand up to Dr. Hoffmeister and stay. But you had gone off into the world, and now it's too late.
What do you mean it's too late? Daisy, join me in my work. Be my partner.
Your partner? Are you serious?
I've never been more serious. Think about it. The two of us forging new scientific discoveries and inventions. There's so many bad guys in this world. Maybe we could take a few of them down. Jill Trent, Science Sleuth, and Daisy Smith, Certified Scientific Genius. If we put our heads together, there's nothing we can't do. And when this war is over, I'll see to it that you're enrolled in college. At any university you choose.
You do that for me?
Of course I will.
Oh my!
You can do great things, Daisy. Make the world a safer place and live your dreams.
Live my dreams? I just don't know. Perhaps Professor Hoffmeister did me a favor when he told me to drop out. Because maybe I'm just not cut out for that kind of world anymore. The dog-eat-dog world of science. And as for the kind of work that you appear to be doing, let me show you something. This is Brad.
Brad, huh? He's pretty good looking.
Oh, yes, he is. He's my fiance. He's over there now. We're going to get married when he comes home. Buy a home and start a family. That's my dream now, and it's more than enough for me.
You will come by my science lab sometime, though, won't you?
Of course. I'll call you soon.
Good luck on your interview.
That night, Daisy pens a letter to her beloved beau.
Dear Brad, nothing too exciting to report about here, but you'll never guess who I shared a taxi ride with today was on my way to a job interview. My best friend in science college, Jill Trent. We had so much fun catching up on each other's lives that the time just seemed to fly by. Well, I should hear about that steno job soon. Do stay safe. My brave, valiant Brad. Your loving, Daisy.
Jill Trent's latest invention gets her into heavy trouble this time, and then gets her right back out again. Let's see what happens next in another round of Slam Bang Sleuthing in the episode of The Black Sheep Murder. But first, friends, after a long day of chasing violators, or just gather around the dinner table with friends and family, do as Jill and Daisy do, and reach for a Chesterfield. The fresher, cleaner, milder cigarette, and simply the most satisfying smoke you could find. Chesterfield cigarettes. Blow some smoke my way. It all started on a warm summer evening Jill had just finished showing Daisy around the science lab when they decided to get some fresh air.
So the element detector is still eluding me. Is it not that I have been trying to crack for years?
You and many of the world's most brilliant scientists.
Chesterfield, Daisy?
Sure.
So, where do you think your fellow Brad is taking?
I have no idea, of course. But from some of his letters, it's more overseas. North Africa is my guess. Or maybe somewhere in the Pacific. Poor Angel. Angel,
What is it?
that element detector of yours. I think I've just figured out how to get it to work.
You have?
Listen to me. Take a solid object, a chunk of silver, say. It holds on to all its precious little silver atoms for dear life, but once you subject that silvery nugget to powerful, gyroscopically generated electromagnetic forces, its atoms become excitable and radiate in all directions in the surrounding atomic space.
The halo effect.
Yes, so in order to detect and identify an element inside an object, we should first be
Super magnetizing the object to the point where detector ray guns can easily penetrate the halo. The space between the atoms. Daisy, you might be onto something.
Let's hurry back to your lab and try it out.
But Daisy and Jill's scientific ruminations were soon interrupted by a blood-curdling scream and a pistol shot.
What was that?
A blood-curdling scream and a pistol shot. Let's go.
Really?
You stop what you're doing right now and put your hands up.
Stop for a couple of girls? Not a chance.
Stop, Daisy. Dead. Shot through the heart. And the killer got away. If only I had my gun.
Jill, I recognize this woman. It's Mrs. Eleanor Van Doren.
Isn't she the woman who owns the Rama Diamond?
And vaults full of other precious stones, reportedly.
This is odd. Why didn't she make out with this ruby ring on her hand?
It certainly looks valuable enough.
I already suspect that there's more to this case than meets the eye.
A short time later at police headquarters.
Well, if it ain't Jill Trent, private eye. Now, how come any time there's trouble in this town, you seem to be in the vicinity?
Some girls like shopping for shoes and nylons. I guess you could say I like shopping for trouble.
And who's your friend?
This is my friend Daisy Smith.
Great. So now the two of us can be in two places at once, just so you can make our lives twice as miserable. Now tell me again exactly what you saw. You said that the man was looking for something.
He kept saying, "Where did you hide it?" When we turned the corner, he was on the ground going for a purse. He ran when he saw us.
What I don't understand is why he didn't make off with that ruby ring on her hand.
Well, very simple, ladies. It wasn't a murder for robbery. More likely a case of revenge or blackmail. A crime of passion, you name it.
I don't buy it. Even if it was a revenge or blackmail killing, the killer still wouldn't have had a reason not to make off with that ruby ring on her hand. If only to make it look as if the motive was robbery.
You know, maybe you should leave that kind of speculating to the professionals. Now, if you'll excuse me, ladies, we picked up 3 suspects. Step over here, you two, and see if you can identify the killer.
Well, we'll try, but it was a pretty dark alley. This definitely wasn't the man. He was our taxi driver the other day, in fact.
Okay, Bob, you're off the hook. But if we ever catch you driving on the sidewalk again, I'm going to personally take away your taxi medallion. Now, how about this guy?
That definitely wasn't the guy.
Okay, get lost. Now, how about this character? We picked him up just a block away from the crime scene.
This one bears some resemblance to the man that we saw, but I can't be sure.
He does look similar, yet.
No! Jack didn't kill my mother.
Who the heck are you?
I'm Julie Van Doren. And Jack Benson here is my fiancé.
Fiancé, huh? How long have the two of you been engaged?
For 3 years.
3 years?
3 years, 4 months, and 12 days. But Mrs. Van Doren called me a fortune hunter. Said I'd never marry her daughter as long as she lived. I guess that makes me a likely suspect.
I suppose it does. Where were you at the time of the murder?
I was in the Museum of Science till about 7:15, but I didn't talk to anybody there, so I don't know how I can prove it.
You're certainly not making a very good case for yourself. How do you know it was 7:15 when you left the museum?
I must have checked my watch. Hey, that's funny. I can't find my watch. I must have lost it someplace.
Look, that's his way. In fact, it's so hysterical that we're going to lock you up for suspicion of murder. Benson, you had the motive. You were at least partially ID'd by eyewitnesses, and you have no alibi for your whereabouts at the time of the murder. Maybe you'll want to make this all a whole lot easier and confess now.
Oh, Jack.
Oh, but it's all right, Tunikins. I'm sure everything will sort out in due time.
Don't be so sure. Come along now, you. This way.
Jack!
It's hard for me to believe that Jack Benson is the killer. If he had killed Mrs. Van Doren, would he have stopped at a diner a block away? You'd think he'd want to get as far away as possible.
My thoughts exactly. I already feel that there's something bigger going on here, and our frustrated fiance got caught in the middle of it.
He's innocent. Jack doesn't care at all about my money. You've got to believe me.
Mrs. Van Doren, we are not the police, but we may be able to help. We were told that your mother had very many fine jewels. Where did she keep them?
In safes, in various locations all across the city. Mother's fortunes were always considerable. She said that criminal organizations and even foreign governments would at any means to locate them. And that's best for me to not know. So what reveals the secret, I understand. I can contact her attorney in the morning.
There may not be enough time for that. Thank you, though.
Hello, Museum of Science. Oh, hello, Miss Trent. How do you do? A lost watch. Well, it just so happens that we did find a man's biker watch left here earlier this evening. I have it right here. It's got the initials JP engraved on the back. Very well. We'll keep it here until the owner comes back to reclaim it. You're welcome. Goodbye, Miss Trent.
A short time later, Jill Trent and her accidental sidekick continue their investigation at the city morgue.
I have a hunch that the key to this mystery lies in the ruby ring on Mrs. Van Doren's hand.
But now that Jack Benson appears to have an alibi, can't we simply pass the information along to the police and call it a day?
Not until we get to the bottom of this. What's wrong, Daisy? You never snuck into a morgue before?
Like, I've never even jaywalked.
You go stand by that ladder over there and check out the window and make sure that nobody's sneaking up on us.
Jill?
I forgot that you were afraid of heights.
Terribly.
How do you manage working on the 29th floor of the Gridiron Building?
Oh, fortunately, I'm in the middle of a cenopool, a half mile away from any windows.
This is her. This is the ring. There's the rock.
All right. First, we put it inside the gyroscopic magno exciter chamber.
That should be enough time. Now for the pulsatile element detector ray gun.
But first, the protective goggles.
Don't want to forget those.
All right. I'm going to aim this into the center of the ruby for exactly 11 seconds. Aluminum is the most important lot of it.
Daisy, do you see what I see? There, in the spectrographic projection.
A minuscule amount of aluminum. It's mostly room air.
The ruby is hollow.
That's all I wanted to know.
Who are you?
You're the man we saw standing beside Mrs. Van Doren's body on the street. And you're not Jack Benson.
You're right. I'm Arthur Benson, Jack's brother. And since you'll never have a chance to spill the beans, I'll tell you that I killed Mrs. Van Doren because she put up a fight when I held her up and tried to search for the map showing where the safes are hidden.
How did you know about that? We were told it was a secret.
I was once her chauffeur. I overheard her mention it to her daughter. That was before she fired me. She learned I had a criminal record.
I'm beginning to understand. You being Jack Benson's brother is probably the real reason she objected to Jack as son-in-law, because we're the black sheep of the family.
Yeah, but she was wrong there. Jack's always been the black sheep of the family, a real goody two-shoes. Everyone else, a hardened career criminal just like me. Even Grandma Nellie, may she rest in peace.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Now I'll just take that ring. If the rock is hollow, the map combinations must be inside.
Even if it is, how do you plan on pawning millions of dollars worth of jewels without attracting suspicion?
That's not my problem. All I gotta do is hand the map over to the ringleader of this heist, and I get a one-way ticket to a beach resort in South America. I'll be living on Easy Street for life.
Who's your ringleader?
Why should I tell you? I told you too much, in fact, so I'm afraid I'm gonna have to plug you.
What if we can make it worth your while not to kill us?
You saw what our element detector can do. You could do the same thing with safes or bank vaults.
Determine whether or not there's money inside of them before going through the trouble of blowing them up.
We'll give it to you free of charge and show you how it works in exchange for our lives.
You show me how it works, and then I'll make up my mind.
Okay. Go ahead, Daisy. Show them how it works.
Yes, of course. Well, first, we turn it on. Oops, I guess we forgot to give you the protective goggles.
How careless of us.
What the heck? Where'd you learn those moves?
It's stenography school.
Who's your ringleader?
I don't know.
Daisy? I said, who's your ringleader?
Some kind of professor, they say. I don't know his name, never even seen him. Everything's done through intermediaries. 2, 3 levels of separation at least. I'm just a small potato. I'm barely a french fry.
Oh, for God's sake. Cuff this miserable so-and-so and let's get him down to the station. Here's your murderer, Sergeant. And here is what he was after all along. A map of the safes where Mrs. Van Doren's jewels were hidden.
This is Arthur Benson, Jack Benson's brother. Jack knew his brother was guilty but didn't say anything.
I didn't want to rat my own brother. He telephoned me. Said he was sorry he got me into trouble and promised to give himself up.
Which he had no intention of doing.
Oh, Jack, I knew you were innocent.
I love you, Judicus. I wouldn't care if you didn't have a nickel to your name.
And you two can identify this character at the scene of the crime?
Without a doubt.
Mr. Benson? The author, Mr. Benson. You're under arrest for the murder of Mrs. Van Doren.
It ain't fair, it ain't fair. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for these 2 meddling girls.
All righty. So long, Trent, and whatever your name is.
You're welcome, Sergeant. Not bad for a day's work. What do you say we go celebrate with a nightcap?
Oh, Jill, tomorrow's Monday, and this working girl has to be up bright and early.
Rain check that. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Night, Jill.
Night, Daisy.
Jill and Daisy match their investigative science against another extraordinary criminal in our next episode. Watch for it. But first, the next morning.
Hello?
Miss Trent, Sergeant Mulligan here.
What is it, Sergeant?
You know that map of all of Mrs. Van Doren's diamonds and jewels?
What about it?
Well, somebody snuck into the break room last night and took pictures of it.
The break room, you say?
There were flash bulbs all over the floor under the staff bulletin board.
The staff bulletin board. In the break room.
Oh, it gets so much worse. Every last safe has been cleaned out. Every diamond and jewel. They did a very thorough job, very professional.
Professionalism. That's something you don't see every day.
You can say that again, Miss Trent.
You do realize that a hostile foreign government could very possibly be behind this paper. Like, I don't know, the one in Germany?
The one in Germany? You mean the Germans?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh. Well, so long, Miss Trent. Nice.
Bubble trouble and Trixie can cause an awful lot of grief. If you doubt it, find out what happens next in another round of Slam Bang Sleuthing. But first, friends, here's a habit you will never want to break. Triple mint gum. Why is that? Well, let's start with its delicious taste, not to mention whiter teeth, better checkups, and healthier, and it aids in digestion as well. In fact, in a scientific survey, 4 out of 5 dentists recommend triple mint gum for their patients who chew gum. So whether in between meals, on the run, or listen to your favorite show on the radio, do as Jill and Daisy do and chew triple mint gum. Triple mint. It's the chew that satisfies. One Saturday morning at Jill Trent Science Laboratory.
Come in.
I really appreciate you looking after Trixie over the weekend, Jill. I'm sure she'll be the perfect little angel.
Of course, I'm tickled to have her.
And here's a little money in case the ice cream truck comes by.
$5. We can buy out the whole truck with $5.
Hey! All right, just be good now. Don't get into any trouble.
What you doing? I want to know what you're doing. We're experimenting with iodinated phosphated saragarite, Trixie. Ooh, what's that? Oops. Iodinated phosphated saragarite, my mutton, is an incredibly rare and expensive substance that attracts and conducts radio waves from distant planets. And now, thanks to your bubblegum, 3/4 of the world's supply takes up residence on this $5 bill.
What a shame. But my triple mint gum is spoiled too, lady.
Here's a nickel, Trixie. Go out and get some triple mint gum and take your time, okay?
A nickel? Are you kidding me? Triple mint gum is 10 cents a stick.
What? Are you sure about that?
Well, sure, I'm sure.
Jeepers of all the gumption.
I hate to see kids groped. How about you just show us where you buy your gum, Trixie?
Jill, don't you think we have more important work here?
It's the principle of the thing, Daisy. Let's go.
A few blocks away.
Here's where I buy my gum. Now, if you're a real detective, you'll put him under arrest.
What's this? I run an honest business here. Always did.
Wouldn't you say that 10 cents for a stick of gum is outright robbery?
Sure, but it's costing me 9 cents. Me and every other shopkeeper in this town. The Gallardi brothers have the triple big gum racket sewed up in this town.
This is going to give us something to chew on, and I don't mean gum.
Do you have any idea how we could catch these racketeers?
Well, when I wanted 2 boxes, I put this sign in the window. I leave an envelope with cash under the doormat. Car makes the delivery late at night. Zooms in and out, just like that. It moves so fast, you don't have much chance of catching them.
No wonder there's a gun shortage in the armed forces.
There's too much profit to be made by extorting 6-year-olds.
Hey, watch your mouth, lady! I'm 7.
The point is that the Army's no longer including gum in the boys' meal rations. That says morale is terrible as a result.
Tonight, I want you to put the sign out and put the cash under the door like usual. But instead, I want you to include this $5 bill in the cash. It's marked with iodinated phosphide steroid.
Sarah who?
Just do as I say. We'll be waiting in the alley across the street, and with any luck, we'll catch these black market profiteers and bring them to justice.
That evening, Jill and Daisy persuade Trixie to go to bed.
Hey, you guys are supposed to be babysitting me tonight. You can't go off and catch the bad guys without me. That's against the law. Besides which, it was my $5 bill that you gave away.
It'll just be for an hour or two, and we'll replace the 5 spot with a brand new one.
You better. But I want to catch the musketeers.
Look, Trixie, wouldn't it be great if you and all the other kids could get triple McGum for a penny again?
Well, sure, it'd be swell.
Well, then you need to go to sleep.
Ow!
I'm sorry, Trixie, but you're not going to sleep.
No! I demand to speak to my attorney! Oh, I'm gonna get an elephant and a tiger and a rocket ship and knock the whole house down!
20 minutes later.
I think she's finally asleep.
Well, then let's go. We don't want to miss our chance to catch these louts.
I'm the one that chose triple McGum, and I'm not gonna go to bed.
A few blocks away, Jill and Daisy are staking out the site when a sedan pulls up.
Jill, those are our racketeers.
I'll grab 1 box. You grab the other. Got it.
But Jill and Daisy are too busy checking out the distinctive gait of a man in a brown suit to notice that Trixie Duncan has also arrived.
We'll drop them off in the Act delivery chute like usual.
Oh boy, do I see what I see! What creepers are lucky!
That sounds like Trixie. She's in the trunk of that sedan, Jill.
Let's go.
How are we ever going to catch up with them?
With any luck, they're only going a short distance. But in the meantime, I'll use my walkie-talkie. We should be able to pick up the radio wave from the iodinated phosphide of Storgeray. They must have went into one of those alleys. But which one? Is that a bubblegum wrapper?
Yep, and there's another one.
Looks like we're on the right track.
What a break, Jill. There's the car.
What's all the racket about?
Looks like you're a little more hep to this racket than we are, Bub.
Grab another chick, Joe.
Hey! Let me out of here!
What's this? A kid? Having time for yourself, Pee-wee?
I was until I ran out of triple big gum!
Okay, you walk this way.
I couldn't walk that way if I tried.
Physical or in love on the fingers. Who are these characters?
Play dumb and let me handle this. Nylons, ties, cotton goods. I thought this would be a good outfit to work for.
Skip the cognac, babe. But what are you nosing around for, huh?
A job, pal. Don't you think if I had anything else in mind, I would have tipped off the fence?
Maybe. I suppose you got an angle figure out of here, huh?
A natural. Now look, 10 to 1 is just a small spoke in a much larger operation. Why not be smart about it and do a little side business?
Side business?
Of course. Skim off a portion of these nylons and sell them for $5, with an extra stick of gum to take home to the kiddies.
Chances are, your boss won't even notice.
That's brilliant, boss. Maybe we should hire a pair of smart chicks in this outfit.
How about a little retainer? Say, $100, just to keep the ideas flowing.
Make it $500 and you've got a deal.
Oh, just you wait until I tell my mother about this. I knew you were real detectives.
What? What is this? Tell me, kid. No!
Detectives, huh? I knew there's something phony about this.
Oh, Trixie, did you mess things up?
Hey, how did you get in the car, kid? Answer me. Ah, please. Ah, God.
Let's keep things popping. By gum.
This pest is now a hostage. Put your guns down and slide them over here, and nobody gets hurt.
Don't do it, Jill Trent.
Daisy.
If it weren't for the kid here, I'd plug the both of you.
What's our next move, boss?
Our next move is to hightail down here before the cops and the FBI arrives.
That's not going to be happy when he finds out. Our operation was turned upside down by a couple of dames.
Yeah? Well, maybe we don't stick around long enough for the professor to find out. Maybe we take the proceeds from this week's shenanigans and we get on the first boat to, Venezuela, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be joining you.
Oh, me too.
Take the little brat.
Ah, shucks.
See you around, chicks.
Don't count on it, Buster.
Wait. You guys forgot your money.
Thanks. I owe you one, Doll.
Jill, what in the world? That loop is still sending out radio waves. I'll tip off the feds, and with any luck, we can track down these carriers.
It makes me mad to see them get away with this racket for so long. To think of our boys over there going without good old-fashioned American chewing gum to remind them of home.
Chewing gum? To think of the nylons that I haven't been wearing for 5 years.
To think of the gum I could have been chewing. It just isn't fair.
The next morning at Jill's lab.
Have you seen this? Black market operation uncovered by Lady Gumshoes, but thieves escape police track.
What a shame.
It's okay. Maybe that marked bill will show up somewhere else. You never know when a case like this one will give you the one vital piece of evidence you need to crack an even larger case down the road.
Here comes your mother, Trixie, and right on time.
Hide this, and let's just hope that your mom does not read the Daily News.
I told you, she said the only thing that rag's good for is to rabbit fish.
Now remember what we agreed to. No word about the bubblegum papers to anyone if you want to keep this pack of gum. And if you want to help us out on another case.
What do you think I am? Some kind of rotten fish? When I make a deal, it's a deal.
There you are. Thank you so much for watching Trixie over the weekend.
It was no problem. She was no trouble at all.
Did you miss me, darling?
Oh, I missed you something terrible. But maybe next time you leave me with Jill Trent, you can stay away a little longer. Like a month or two.
Oh, no. We'll see about that.
For another uproarious adventure, look for Jill Trent in our next issue. But first, let's share a quiet moment as Miss Daisy tenderly pens a letter to her far-flung soldier, Brad.
Dear Brad, not much new to report on the home front. I'm enjoying my new stenography job and just got a 15-cent per hour raise. Rather than spend it on something silly, I'm going to save my money to buy another $25 U.S. war bond. I read in the paper that the Army will soon be putting chewing gum in your meal rations again. It seems there was a temporary disruption in the supply of gum. I don't know any of the details, but hopefully that's a little ray of sunshine in your day, wherever you may be. Stay well and safe, my valiant, courageous Brad. Your Daisy.
Can a man be brutally murdered without ever being touched? Can a magazine advertisement lead to a string of unexplained deaths? These are actual problems that face Jill Trent and her accidental sidekick, Daisy Smith, in our latest scientific crime case, the mysterious, spine-tingling case of the sanitary murders.
The mystery deepens.
Oh, 5 murders to date, sir. And no one has even the slightest suspicion. Your victims have willed everything they own to the charities you control. The entire world thinks you're wonderful!
I am wonderful, Otto. I am.
Oh, murder can be a dangerous business, sir. But you've managed to keep your hands very clean.
Yes, I have. Take a look at this baby powder advertisement. It was, in fact, the inspiration behind my brilliant scheme.
Completely sanitary, untouched by human hands? Oh, indeed, sir.
My so-called charities have not only made me rich beyond my wildest dreams, but they've also allowed me to make a substantial contribution to the Nazi war efforts. Now, in my view, Otto, and the view of many experts, the victory in this war will go to the first side who is able to find a substantial quarry of plastonium.
An extremely rare element, sir, but one with terrifying, explosive powers and...
One thimbleful of which can level a medium-sized city.
Oh, indeed, sir.
So you see why every dollar directed to the German war machine is of paramount importance. But enough exposition for the moment. I think it would be a good time to call John D. Rockabye back.
Oh, very well, sir. He seemed to be a decent sort, wouldn't you say, sir?
Yes, nice fellow. Let's see if he's in.
Little does Dr. Reiner know that Mrs. Gilmore, a lonely widow in the apartment building across the alley, is listening in on the conversation through a party line.
John D. Rockabye, please. Yes, I'll wait.
No doubt that the fear will be most impressed by your generosity, sir.
Oh, yes. Professor Hoffmeister has been keeping close tabs on my contributions, which I only hope will help overthrow the communist Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Now, I don't agree with Mr. Hitler on every issue, mind you, but...
No, I allow it like you would.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a little extreme, that's all.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, though, sir.
Mr. Rockabye, this is Dr. Reiner.
Yes?
The document you signed, leaving your entire estate to my charities for crippled war orphans upon your death?
Oh, yeah, so what about it?
I'm afraid you neglected to initial page 4.
Oh, I see.
Would you mind terribly coming over tonight to take care of this?
Tonight?
For the sake of the children, you know.
I suppose. For the sake of the children.
Come along, please.
Will do. See you soon, Doctor.
Meanwhile, at Jill Trent Science Lab, Jill and Daisy, hard at work on a new scientific project, are taking a much-needed Ovaltine break.
Have you seen this? The mystery deepens.
Yes. 5 nationally known wealthy businessmen found dead in their cars at various locations around the city.
Apparently with no fingerprints or usable evidence at any of the scenes.
The doctors say they all appear to die of natural causes. Quite a coincidence, wouldn't you say?
That's no coincidence if you ask me.
Maybe that's why Sergeant Mulligan wants to meet with you tomorrow afternoon. To help develop some new leads.
I doubt it. As far as the police are concerned, I'm just another meddling girl amateur. Let's just get back.
This way, sir. This way. May I
you have the documents for me initial? Or let me have a moment.
Oh, hello, Rockabye. Yes, I have them right here. This won't take long at all. Please, use this pen instead.
Okay, use this. Doctor, it appears that my initials has already been signed, Doctor.
Oh, yes, it has. My mistake. Place the pen carefully back in the fish tank, Otto.
Very well, sir. Shall I contact Dr. Hoffmeister's office to arrange for the disposal of the remains, sir?
Oh, yes. Put the body behind the steering wheel of his car. Tow the car to a different part of the city, ever untouched by human hands.
Dr. Hoffmeister's service, or towing service, I should say, is quite professional. Top shelf.
For instance, here's another $100,000 for Dr. Hoffmeister for the advancement of the Third Reich!
Hey, sir!
The next day at Municipal Police Headquarters.
So, let me get this straight. You were sitting around, minding your own business, when you had a sudden burning desire to call your cousin in Omaha. And when you picked up the phone, you heard your neighbor Dr. Reiner on the line.
It's a party line, officer.
And how do you know it was Dr. Reiner?
Because I can see him through the window. He lives in an apartment building right next to mine.
You're supposed to hang up if someone else is using the line. Didn't you know that? It's called eavesdropping, which is a criminal offense.
What do you expect me to do in the evenings? There's no one to talk to since Harold's been gone. Other than my parent, he's even worse than Harold. He keeps repeating the same thing over and over.
Miss Trent, be right with you.
All right.
Now, back to your accidentally overheard conversation. You claim that Dr. Reiner asked John D. Rockabye to come over?
First, he was going on how he admired Hitler.
Hitler?
Yes, Adolf Hitler. Then when Mr. Rockabye got on the line, Dr. Reiner told him to come over right away alone, he said. And when I saw in the newspaper that they found Mr. Rockabye's body in his car on the other side of town, I thought I should let you know.
Mrs. Gilmore, Mr. Rockabye was the unfortunate victim of a heart attack, and Dr. Reiner is a world-famous, fish scientist, a great philanthropist, and one of the most respected men in the city. Now, I suggest you quit snooping in on people's private conversations and find yourself another hobby. Well, you've got such a vivid imagination, why not draw up a comic strip?
Oh dear. Well, thank you. I'll help you at least file a report.
Oh, yeah, we'll find a report. Goodbye, Mrs. Gilmore.
Sergeant, you're really not going to follow up on that? That could be an important lead.
That ain't a lead. That's just a bunch of fantastical nonsense.
But that makes 6 wealthy businessmen dying of heart attacks in their cars.
Well, what do you want me to do about it? And no, you may not examine Mr. Rockaby's body.
We're crying out loud, Sergeant.
Why, you girls always have to make everything so complicated. Speaking of which, the reason I called you in, this here, newfangled static electricity squirt gun you wanted us to try out?
Excuse me, Sergeant, but it's not some gas.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, you can have it back.
This squirt gun, as you call it, contains a powerful miniature magnet. And when you activate it and aim it at a person or object, each of its atoms takes on a phosphorescence. Even in
Not too many syllables, girls, please.
Have you at least tried it out in the field?
The captain took one look at it and said you should sell it to Milton Bradley.
I beg your pardon, a toy company.
It's okay, Daisy. Some of our inventions are just a little ahead of their time.
If you'll excuse me, ladies, I've got bigger fish to fry.
I don't know why we even bothered with those dummies. What is it, Daisy? Why so quiet all of a sudden?
Bigger fish to fry, he said.
It's just an expression.
Yes, but if you're going to kill someone off with a powerful poison that would be virtually undetectable by normal laboratory testing, what would you use?
I'm thinking not cyanide.
Think advanced zoology. Ichthyology, to be specific, which happens to be Dr. Reiner's field of expertise.
Fish. The pink Pekingese pufferfish. Seductively beautiful in appearance, but mere contact with its poison causes instantaneous death. You might be onto something.
I think we ought to pay a visit to our local exotic pet and fish shops.
But first, let us find a picture of our dear friend, Dr. Reiner.
Hello, Chuck's Rare Fish and Birds. Chuck speaking.
Hello, this is Gilmore.
Oh yes, hello, Mrs. Gilmore. How's that wonderful parrot we sold you? After so many years here, we do miss him, you know?
I'm not happy with that bird of yours. I'm not happy at all. In fact, I want a full refund.
A refund? And why is that?
I bought this bird to keep me company, and he's to say one thing and one thing only, day and night.
What does he say?
Oh, you know what he says. Brat, Chuck's Rare Fish and Birds. Chuck speaking, it's driving me crazy.
Oh my, listen, I have some very official visitors. Can I call you back in a few minutes?
And if you don't, I will report you to the Better Business Bureau. And another thing.
What can I do for you ladies?
Yes, do you recognize this man?
Oh yes, that's Mr. John Doe, a customer of mine.
Mr. Doe.
Yes, how could I ever forget him? He came in a few months ago and asked if I could procure a pod of pink Pekingese pufferfish. Dangerous animals, you know, among the most dangerous in the world. If you even touch the water they swim in, you're a goner.
So, you supplied the fish to him.
That's my specialty, rare birds and fish and collectibles.
Thank you for your time.
You aren't by any chance in the market for a parrot, are you?
Late that night, outside the morgue.
I think I'm almost getting used to this place.
You go stand watch. I'm gonna glove up. If my suspicions are correct, he met his demise by the poison of a pot of pink Pekingese pufferfish. So, the reading by the poisonometer will still be sky high on his fingertips.
Stop what you're doing right now and put your hands up.
How did you know I'd be here, Reiner?
Sergeant Mulligan let slip that a nosy PI and her bubble-headed sidekick had found a few breadcrumbs that seemed to lead to me. We both shared a good laugh about it. Preposterous, we both agreed. Simply preposterous.
You can kill me, but you'll never get away with this, Reiner. There's a trail of evidence a mile long that leads right to you. The overheard phone call, the fish shop.
Oh, yes, there is all that. But I do know how to cover my tracks. Poor Mrs. Gilmore and Chuck from Chuck's Rare Fish and Birds. They won't say another word. Not in this lifetime, at least. So I'm afraid you're all out of moves, Jill Trent. No more cards to play.
Don't be so sure about that, Dr. Reiner. Greetings from a bubble-headed sidekick.
What is this? What are you doing to me?
You can't see us, Dr. Reiner, but we're seeing you just fine. For I just blasted you with our thermomagnetic ray gun. Not only are you glowing in the dark, but you're also conducting enough static electricity to power a small city.
Ah!
I wouldn't touch that gurney again if I were you. Or anything else for that matter.
Where the devil are you?
Oh, didn't I also tell you that I have an advanced degree in ventriloquy, and I can also throw my goodness across the room? Sergeant Mulligan's face when we reeled this world-renowned shark back into the police headquarters.
You're about to be a big fish in a much smaller pond, Dr. Reiner. Federal prison.
Later at police headquarters.
Here's your sanitary murderer, Sergeant. Each victim's body is untouched by human hands, but instead met their demise by a pod of pink Pekingese puppies.
I'm a reasonable man, Sergeant. I'm willing to strike a deal.
What kind of deal?
I have valuable information about a German spy ring operating in this very city.
Spy ring?
Your loyalty to the Nazis doesn't run very deep, Dr. Reiner. Tell us more.
Well, the operation is run by none other than Dr. Oscar Mayer Hofmeister.
Daisy, are you all right? I'm fine.
Hofmeister? Is this some kind of fish story, Miss Trent, or what?
I guess we'll find out soon enough. But in the meantime, I suggest that you search Dr. Reiner's premises and bring his butler in for questioning as well. And tell your men to stay clear of the fish tank. Now get talking, Dr. Reiner. Where can we find him? Mr. Hofmeister.
Well, wait. I'm not saying another word until I get a deal in writing from the FBI.
Oh, you'll get a deal all right. Lock him up in the most secure cell you've got, Sergeant. If it's not too much to ask.
All right, you walking Christmas tree. Let me get you acquainted with your new accommodations.
Just don't forget to feed the fish. One shake a day. That's all they need.
Are you all right, Daisy?
I'm fine. I have to leave. I have an appointment.
What about tomorrow?
I'm busy tomorrow. And on the weekend. And the weekend after that. I'll see you around.
Daisy.
The next morning at Jill's lab.
Hello?
Miss Trent, Sergeant Mulligan, you know that Dr. Reiner fellow and his butler?
What about them?
Well, they won't be singing anytime soon. Anytime at all, as a matter of fact.
What do you mean?
They both died last night of food poisoning.
Food poisoning? Both of them?
It was the filet-o-fish, apparently.
This was obviously an inside job, Sergeant. Somebody wanted to get rid of them, and fast.
Yes, Trent. Why is it whenever you girls hear hoofbeats, you always go looking for a three-legged zebra?
Well, then what is your learned opinion, if you don't mind my asking?
My opinion, if you ask me, they should have had the veal.
Yes, Sergeant Mulligan and Jill do have their occasional differences, but there's one thing on which they'll surely agree on. It's that you're only moments away from another eye-popping episode of Jill Trent Science Sleuth. We'll be back in 10, friends. Jill Trent Science Sleuth. The Black Sheep murder, the bubblegum racketeers, the sanitary murders, all entirely unconnected, at least to the unscientifically trained eye. But there is one criminal mastermind behind them all, Professor Oscar Mayer Hofmeister, the spider at the center of this web, peering out from a secret penthouse on the top floor of the Gridiron building, in the company of Jill Trent's former classmates, Four Eyes McGee and Joey the Weasel.
Are you quite sure that Reiner mentioned the name Jill Trent, Mr. Weasel?
Sure, I'm sure. How'd I forget that name? The insufferable smarty pants of class of 38. About the last thing he said to me before I delivered my milk tray to him, huh?
You know, the pink Pekingese pufferfish is perfectly safe to eat if you know how to prepare it right. It's a delicacy in certain parts of the world.
Oh,
make a note of it, Mr. McGee.
Want me to take care of Trent? It'd be an easy job. She's ready to phone.
No, Mr. Weasel. I knew it would only be a matter of time before she'd be on my trail. As long as we stay one step ahead of her, we have nothing to fear. Would you deny me the pleasure of the game of watching that strident scientific striver try and fail to stop the destruction of the United States of America? No! I didn't think so. Let us play out this little game until its final apocalyptic conclusion. Speaking of which, I have an important mission for the two of you. The Third Reich is urgently requesting a pound of pure Kriplock.
You want me to run down to Cat's Deli? Best Jewish food in town!
Oh, no, I think Solomon's is better. I mean, the pickles on fries is
Hey, fools! I'm not talking about pickles or dumplings. Kriplock. Don't you remember? It's the code word we're using.
Oh yeah! For the bewitchingly rare and highly explosive element blastonium! One thimbleful of which can level a city the size of, Cleveland!
I'm sending you two out west to the little Colorado town of Los Cedros. Our sources report you may be able to find Kriplock in the nearby mountains.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, a very different conversation is unfolding. Daisy Smith, having practically swooned at the mere mention of Professor Hoffmeister's name, made up her mind that she'd keep a safe distance from Jill Trent's science lab and her scientific adventure. But let's see what happens when Jill rings her up.
Just a little vacation is all. Sunshine, fresh air, and you'll be able to meet my Uncle Ned.
Just a vacation, you say?
A vacation out west.
No crime fighting or private investigating or anything of the sort?
Nothing of the sort, except maybe a little amateur geology, but just for fun. You can bring along your transistorized atomic automaton. What better place to try it out than in the Rocky Mountains? Los Cedros is the cutest little western town.
Well, I am off next week, and to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city does sound pretty tempting.
Oh, Daisy, you're gonna love it. Pack your bags and meet me at the train station. The tickets are on me.
Now let's see what happens when men with guns are matched against real courage and scientific skills in the case of the Blastonium Claim Jumpers.
What a quaint little town. This looks like the perfect place to relax. Thank you, Jill. This is just what I needed.
I can't wait to introduce you to my dear Uncle Ned.
Who prospector you were telling me about?
He is the best hunter and guide in all of Colorado. He could probably find us a couple of cougars.
Oh, I only hope a cougar doesn't find us first. Arrgh.
Can I help you, lady?
Yes, I have a reservation under the name of Trent.
Oh, yes. Please sign here. We'll be in the VIC room on the second floor. Very important combo. What brings you guys to Colorado?
Blue skies, fresh mountain air.
Oh,
Beautiful.
well, I don't expect you to be disappointed then.
How mountain birds will be so bad, Mary? Especially a couple of chicks having that around.
I'll get their names for the register and then we can introduce ourselves.
I think there's something wrong with these cowboy cats. Maybe I should have gone a different size.
There's nothing wrong with them, you boy cat. The French goes on the outside, not on the inside. Ain't you ever seen a Western?
Jill Trent, jumping Jimson Gale, you get prettier every year.
Uncle Ned, it's so good to see you. How's Aunt Gertrude?
Ornery as ever.
I'd like to introduce you to my friend that I've been writing you about. This is Miss Daisy Smith.
Pleased to meet you, Daisy. Is this your first time out west?
Yes, it is.
Have you been doing any hunting lately, Uncle Ned?
My prospecting has kept me mighty busy for all that, Jill.
Jill Trent. She's the sleepy girl PI who sent my brother homeward to the pen.
I pick a crummy place like this for a vacation.
Beats me, but I'd like to even things up. Let's listen in for a while and see what they're up to, and then we'll settle the score.
Heavens, Uncle Ned. Don't tell me you finally found gold.
Gold? I'd rather not say, Jill, until we're out there. It's such a wallop in stride. It's all I can do to keep the news from spreading. Of course, I don't rightly know how pure it is. Not until I take a few samples to Denver.
Oh, good heavens! You don't need to do that. It just so happens that your brilliant niece asked me to bring along my transistorized atomic automaton.
Your what?
Oh, just a little invention of mine. We thought we'd just have some fun with it, but this machine can isolate, scientifically extract, and tell you in a heartbeat exactly how much of any given mineral is in a given sample of ore.
Well, I'll be a three-legged sloth. Reckon you'd like to ride up to Cougar Creek in the morning. Let's go.
Plastonian, maybe. This is getting better all the time. But whatever that old coot's found needs more dough for us.
Howdy, partner. Don't reckon you have any room in this here establishment for a couple tired and lonesome cowpokes.
Now, one room left here. Sign here, please. Excuse me. Figure out Joey the Weasel. But that's something else.
Heck, man. Come here. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy. Do you have a problem with my name?
No, not at all, sir.
Now that we got that straight, how about you tell us where you find some krpluk?
Pardon me?
Krpluk! Where can we get a pound of it?
Denver, sir. You might want the Jewish deli's probably gonna be in Denver, sir.
How about you tell us where we can find some Blastonian then?
Blastonian was real.
Yeah, we've heard all that. Where can we find it?
You probably want the Cougar Creek. There's been a spell of prospering activity in that area, to the best of my understanding.
Okay. Now, unless you want to be carrying a couple late deposits of your own, you're gonna keep your mouth shut about this whole conversation.
Yes, Mr. Weasel, sir. Is there anything else I can do for you gentlemen?
Hey. As a matter of fact, the reason. We want to see you dance.
Pardon? He said, we'd like to see you dance.
Oh, not again!
You mean to tell me that you've kept this a secret for 2 months, Uncle Mac?
Tight as a cinch strap. I've got an idea this is something that a lot of people around the world would be interested in. Have a look.
Black lumpy crystals. Is this Saturnite?
I bet the ranch on the Gales. I haven't dug my way through half of Colorado for nigh on to 50 years without knowing my minerals. Black, lumpy crystals mean Saturn.
Blastonian rich ore.
If this is in fact Saturnite, the Blastonium in this cave alone could be powerful enough to take out every city and town in America.
But maybe you or transistorized something or other can tell us for sure. You see now why I've been keeping a lid on this thing? I reckon that this claim's worth several $1 million. But more importantly, we wouldn't want to get it into the hands of the wrong people.
I'll go rinse this nugget off in the nearby creek.
Blastonia, mate. Sounds even better than gold. We'll sell chunks of it to the highest bidder. Then we'll be set for life.
Crimpin' hop toads, claim jumpers.
Put that pickaxe down, old timer. Hands up. You too, Jill Trent.
You look familiar.
We haven't actually had the pleasure of meeting, but you might remember my brother Homer Marin, who you put away for grave larceny and murder.
I do remember him. Looks like you're following in the proud family footsteps.
Want me to plug her, Mary?
No, not yet. Not until we make them tell us where the best Bostonian deposits are. Maybe then I'll let you party. Or better yet, we'll march them into this mine and dynamite the heck out of this mountain.
Hey, no, everyone! Oh.
Well, this is awkward.
Still Trent! Fancy meeting you here!
Joey the Weasel, now I know what happened to you after science school. You climbed under a rock in the Rocky Mountain.
Actually, we're just here on vacation.
It's funny enough that you brought along the transistorized atomic automaton that bears a marked resemblance to one my friend made in school.
I never quite understood doing something original when it's so much more satisfying to steal!
Aaron, what you show me for?
Steve, is that you under the bandana?
I'm your partner.
Sorry.
Oh, it's just a flash moon.
I thought you were the other guy, Joey the alligator.
Weasel, you meathead weasel!
So where'd you get your Western duds?
At Johnson's General Store.
Hey, I looked there too. But I found a firefighter's at Yale Tack and Haberdashery shop.
I told you we should have gone there, Joey.
Not Joey, I'm Steve.
Let's grab a chunk of this sword and beat it out of here.
I'm right behind Joey.
I'm married, you idiot.
Let's get a chunk of this Bostonian and she's out of here!
Okay, boss. Hey, you're not my boss. You're Joey the Lizard.
Put down those horses. Let Jill Trent, the old prospect, walk back to town.
Let's go!
What on earth?
Agent Trent.
Uncle
Jill.
Ned,
They got me, Jill. They got me good.
you've been shot.
Agent Trent, those last two are German agents working for Hofmeister.
Don't talk anymore, Uncle Ned. Just lie here and be still. We're gonna get some help for you.
Don't have much time. Hofmeister, the top Nazi agent in North America.
I know.
And now they have the blastonium they've been looking for to create a bomb with cataclysmic power.
Uncle Ned.
Don't let them get away with it, Agent Trent.
Uncle Ned.
The future of our democracy is at stake.
No! He's gone. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Daisy,
This was all a big setup, wasn't it? Our Colorado vacation? Prospecting for minerals with your Uncle Ned, who's no more your uncle than I am.
Daisy.
You're a secret government agent, and your PI operation is nothing but a cover. You lied to me, Jill. You've been lying to me since that car chase back in the city.
That car chase. Daisy.
What about it?
That was staged.
What?
We were outgunned, Daisy. Outmaneuvered scientifically again and again. I knew I couldn't keep up with the enemy's advances alone. So I needed help. I needed your help. Your brilliant scientific mind. So I tracked you down. I was hoping that you would fall in love with it all. The danger, the adventure, the science. But even as we got further into it, I couldn't let you see the big picture. It was top secret, Daisy. My bosses were allowing me to let you in on a need-to-know basis, as long as I didn't let you in about the overall mission, to bring down a huge undercover Nazi operation.
All of our adventures were built on a lie. I thought you were my friend, but you just wanted to use me.
No, we're more than just friends, Daisy. We're partners. We finish each other's sentences, build on each other's ideas. We're so much better together than we can ever be apart. Don't you see that?
A partner doesn't lie or deceive, even if she thinks she knows better. You and I, we have never been partners. You want to know the strangest thing? If you had asked me, I would have said yes. Yes to everything. Yes to this trip to Colorado. I would have said yes, Jill.
Daisy.
Friends, remember the last time you were at the beach with your girl, minding your own business, and that show-off muscle man accidentally kicked sand in your eyes, then stood there smirking? Sure you do. Now you can waste your time and money on muscle building programs and pills like some of our competitors advertise. Or you can spring into action right away. How, you ask? With your own personal sandblaster by Casbro. Just load it up with ordinary beach sand and fire away. In most cases, the blindness is temporary, but the satisfaction you'll get from wiping that smile off that perp's face will last a lifetime. It's the Miniature Sandblaster by Casbro Novelty Company. It's Jill and Daisy's choice for personal recreational protection.
Dear Brad, I'm feeling a little blue this week, if truth be told. About another girl. A girl I used to know at school. I thought sometimes that we were as close as twins, but as it turns out, it was just a mirage.
You can do great things, Daisy. Make the world safer and live your dreams.
The mystery deepens.
You can kill me, but you'll never get away with this, Reiner. There's a trail of evidence a mile long that leads right to you.
You want to know the strangest thing? If you had asked me, I would have said yes. Yes to everything.
It's not necessarily a lost cause. You never know when a case like this one will give you the one vital piece of evidence that you need that cracks an even more important case down the line.
Hey kids, follow the crazy maze on this map to the treasure chest and good luck. There's something printed on the treasure chest, I think. Very tiny print. 32 gridiron. The 32nd floor of the gridiron building. Come on, Jill, pick up the phone, please, pick up.
We complete each other's sentences, Daisy. Finish each other's thoughts. Always have and always will. Don't you see that?
Jill's on her way there now. I just know she is. And she could be in great danger.
Meanwhile, 32 stories above the city, the pompous pontificator, Professor Oscar Mayer Hoffmeister, emboldened and enriched by his recent capers, pays off his co-conspirators as he prepares to put into motion his overarching scheme, which is to deliver a fatal blow to U.S. communications across the country and to Allied forces around the globe.
Here is the money I promised to you for your labors on behalf of the Third Reich. $1 million to Four Eyes McGee, the world's foremost radio technician, creator of the Destructomatic miniature radio receiver. Perhaps you can use some of your prize money to purchase yourself a real pair of glasses, by the way.
What's wrong with
And
this?
$1 million to Joey the Weasel, who managed to implant our Destructomatic miniature radio receivers across every official radio in the land.
Oh, thank you, boss. I'd like to thank my mother and my father, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Weasel Sr., for always teaching me to dream big and reach for the stars.
And last, but certainly least, $50 to my personal bodyguard and chief thug, Slim Fatley.
Thank God. I do like to thank my mother, my father, and my uncle, and my grandpa. And, oh my God,
Who is it? That has to be Jill Trent, right on cue and right on time.
Full-time science loop. It's you, Hoffmeister. I know it. Open up now.
Want me to handle our boss?
Not quite yet. Allow us a moment to show her the fruits of our labors. Go, all of you, hide behind that desk.
Okay, Dante. Say, I'm pretty thirsty, so I'm gonna take a sip of this. Say, that's delicious!
Let me try it.
Oh, you fools! That's the subatomic miniaturizer. It will shrink you into particles no bigger than the head of a pin.
That was pretty fast, boss.
The effects are temporary, unfortunately. You, Mr. Fatley, hide like I said. When I say the secret phrase, you sneak up behind her and knock her out cold.
Okay. What's the secret phrase?
Think of all the lives that could have been saved.
Think of all the lives that could have been saved. Think of all the lives that could have been saved. Got it.
Think of all the lives that could have been saved, you idiot!
Think of all the lives that could have been saved, idiot. Got it.
It's open now. Come in.
Hoffmeister, you've got a lot of explaining to do, but first, put your hands up.
And why would I want to do a ridiculous thing like that?
Because you are a disgusting and German. You were the one behind the Blastonium heist, the sanitary murders, and those brought away the lives of one of our most valiant agents.
Yes, it's true. All true. Apparently, you're forgetting the case of the bubblegum racketeers.
Don't count on it. I never forget. But the most important thing is that I finally tracked you down.
As I'm sure you would, Jill Trent. Where else would your brilliantly deductive scientific thinking lead you but to me, the greatest scientific mind of our generation? And I, in turn, deduced that you would be hot on my trail and arriving at this very hour. And so, I set this trap for you.
Trap? I don't see a trap. Taxi! Taxi!
Where to, Leho? No, not you again.
To the Gridiron Building, on the double driver. There's a war on, you know.
So what are you up to in this lair of yours, Hoffmeister?
What am I up to? Well, that would be this! The Transometron, a gyroscopically powered super transmitter which, when activated with a flip of this switch, will instantly cripple U.S. communications, and for months on end, police communications gone, radar gone, radios on every American warship and Coast Guard vessel will cease to function. What better way to prepare for a surprise German invasion? And with the Blastonium we've acquired, we will easily subdue the entire free world.
I am not going to let you flip that switch. Now, like I said, put your hands up.
You thought you could make the world better with science, didn't you? Such a waste, such a pity. I always hated you, Jill Trent, and students like you with stars in their eyes. But teaching at one of the great universities allowed me access to the most devious minds of a generation, and we're able to recruit them to our cause. Surely you remember Four Eyes Mickey?
We became reacquainted in Colorado.
Hello again, Jill.
Four Eyes, you lousy rat. Where are you?
I'm on your shoe.
My shoe?
Your left shoe, just look. By the way, I'm always hating you too. Remember when we were back at school and I asked you out to the ham radio spring fling?
Yeah, and I said that I would never go out with you even if you were the last man on earth.
Well, however, how do you feel about that now, Jill Trent? Changed your mind?
No.
And say hello once more, Joey the Weasel.
Of course. Joey the Weasel, the one man who couldn't do an iota of original research in his life and just stole from everyone else.
Perhaps, but what if I told you that he's now a millionaire?
A millionaire? I doubt it.
It's true. That's millions with a capital M. Down here, on your right shoe.
Can't you go any faster, driver?
In this traffic, do you want to take the wheel and drive?
Yes, actually, I do.
But let us forget these minor players, these intellectual midgets, when you and I are the greatest science virtuosos the world has ever known. The two of us, and Daisy Smith, that mousy little friend of yours. Why, I think she was even brighter than you, Jill Trent.
Then why did you make her quit school?
Because I realized if the two of you were ever to collaborate, it would be a formidable and perhaps unstoppable force. For goodness, for democracy and progress, all things I abhor. And so I drove her away. No doubt she's probably a cocktail waitress somewhere, or a stenographer.
How do you know she's not hot on your trail right now.
Well, I don't see her anywhere, do you?
I am not having it, Hoffmeister. I'm giving you till the count of 3 to put your hands up before I plug you. 1, 2.
The tragedy of it is, if the Access Powers had another scientist of your caliber, this war could have reached its conclusion a lot sooner. Think of all the lives that could have been saved. I said, think of all the lives that could have been saved. I said! Oh, how rude of me. I forgot to introduce my trusted bodyguard, Slim Fatley. Tie her up, Mr. Fatley.
Goodness gracious. It's a good thing I have my Casbro X-ray glasses with me. 2 men, and that must be Jill on the floor. I need to get in there right away, but with the door locked, there's only one possible way. A narrow window ledge that goes all the way around the building, 32 stories above city streets. Oh my. Perhaps I'd better take the elevator back down and call the police. But what if they don't believe me?
Ah, I see you two are back from your little sabbatical. Contact Berlin, Mr. McGee. Tell them that Operation Blackout is about to enter its final countdown.
That voice. It's Professor Hoffmeister himself. And me? I'm just Daisy Smith, a college dropout.
A total U.S. communications wipeout will begin in exactly 5 minutes.
5 minutes. It sounds as if every second counts. No time to summon help. But the window ledge. And Professor Hoffmeister.
We all write our own stories, Hoffmeister. And yours will go down in infamy.
Ah, yes. Isn't it wonderful?
Write our own stories. She knows I'm here. Hold on, Jill. I'm on my way.
We'll return after this brief announcement. But first, friends, did you ever wish you could see through walls? To find out just what that commotion is in the room next door? See through clothing? To detect hidden weapons and documents? Arrest violators? Even diagnose and treat broken bones? If so, you'll want the Magnetovision X-ray Spectacles by Casbro Novelty Company. It's Jill and Daisy's first and only choice for X-ray perception. Order now and we'll also rush you a Science Sleuth membership card signed by Jill Trent herself. That's the Magnetovision X-ray Spectacles by Casbro.
Has Berlin been contacted, Mr. McGee?
Yes, they send their very best regards.
Then let us savor this moment in history. The tide of the war will be turned in 2 minutes.
Oh, no it won't! Not if I have anything to say about it!
Daisy Smith, the shrinking violet of Science University.
Don't listen to his taunts, Daisy. Just turn off the machine.
You have no aptitude for science and no aptitude for this line of work whatsoever.
You can't intimidate me, Professor. In fact, you're not my professor at all anymore. You're just a creepy, evil lout who turns out to be a Nazi agent.
You're outgunned here, Daisy. Now be a good girl and put the gun down before somebody gets hurt.
No. 60 seconds to go, Professor.
Excellent! Daisy, if you take one more step towards that machine, we will shoot your friend Jill Trent, and then you.
Don't worry about me, Daisy. Just turn off the machine.
I never thought I'd try this out in the real world without extensive testing, but it sounds as if the fate of the country rests in the balance. I must slow them down now with my thermonuclear time stopper wristwatch. going to need an ambulance right away. Well, multiple ambulances actually, and somebody patrol cars and the feds while you're at it. Jill Trent and Daisy Smith just cracked another case.
A short time later, Jill Trent was admitted to the city hospital for medical treatment and placed under observation. The next day, Daisy Smith stopped by to pay her dear friend a timely visit.
No. Before you say anything, I just want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry I lied to you and that I deceived you. And you have every right to be mad at me. You still do. But it won't happen again.
Thanks, Jill. I do believe you.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
How did you... The window ledge, confronting Hoffmeister.
Well, you were in trouble, Jill. We all were, actually. Well, anyways, that's not what I came here for. I actually wanted to thank you.
Thank me? You just saved the world from a German invasion. Not to mention you saved my life. What the heck are you thanking me for?
For letting me know that I have the power to write my own story.
Well, I hope you also have a decent dress and shoes because we just got invited to the White House. They called while I was out. Also,
What is it?
I'll let you read.
Dear Miss Trent, thank you for writing to us about your friend and colleague, Daisy Smith. On the strength of your endorsement, we would be pleased to offer Miss Smith a full scholarship and immediate admission to our doctoral program in science, plus a generous stipend. Kindly ask her to contact me directly, etc., etc. Sincerely, Howard Kent, Dean of the College of Science.
I hope you don't mind.
You should have asked you, Jill. But of course I don't mind! Good golly, the College of Science! A chance to finally finish my degree. But, you know what? There's still a war on and plenty of bad guys to take out a commission. So, if that offer to work with you is still good, I might just hold off on going back to school. At least until the war is over. What do you say? Partners?
Partners.
Miss Trent, the secretary of the War Department is on the phone and insists on speaking with you. I told him that you were still convalescing from a concussion. But they said it's urgent, a matter of national security, and it can't wait. What should I tell him?
What shall you tell them? Tell them that Jill Trent Science Sleuth will be right there.
And tell him that her trusty sidekick, Daisy Smith, certified scientific genius, will be right beside her every step of the way.
Crime never takes a vacation, and neither does our crime-fighting duo, Jill Trent and Daisy Smith.
Where? Bam! When a couple of girls like us put our heads together, there's nothing we can't do. Let's go!
Watch for Jill and Daisy's next head-spinning, spine-tingling adventure on your local newsstand or wherever comic books are sold. Jill Trent Science Sleuth.